like a geezer.
Well, obviously, this time I remembered to do the intro, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Welcome, everybody. It is, once again, time for your favorite draw stream on the interwebs, Graybeard'S Studio. This is episode 71, and because you demanded it, we're going back to the 90s, and we're going to do a little Wildstorm action for you. Should be a fun time. Let's bring in the crew, see how they're feeling. First of all, of course, David Williams. Hello, David. Look at, you're in focus. So far, so good. Let's keep those fingers crossed. Dave, we were having backstage internet problems, but it looks clear and crisp right now. It looks like the moon is hovering up there on your light table. Very nice. There it is. Here's a guy who's seen more moons than most. It's Gary Martin. Look at Gary.
What? Hello, Father. Here I am at Camp Granada.
Well, I may still owe Gary a cannonball. We shall see how that plays out as the day goes along. But let's bring in Sasquatch himself, a man who has more comics than he has
Common sense.
Common sense. Thank you. I was going to say brains, and I thought, God, that doesn't sound very nice. Here he is. It's Kelsey Shannon.
I know I got some Malibu in here somewhere. Surely I was a fan of Malibu, right? I mean,
you know,
wasn't everybody?
That apparently not. This is, I think, the third time, is it now, that we've had it up in a poll and is not won.
I thought it was bigger than it was. Obviously, I was wrong. I have no, I guess.
Got plenty of image there, though, it looks like.
Sorry.
Youngblood strike file there.
Even glory. Come on, the best.
Real glory.
Your pin up in this one?
I didn't do anything. I never did anything for Rob.
Oh,
I don't know that I've ever even spoken to Rob. Did some stuff for Jim. That was it. I spoke to Silvestri, but never got any work out of him. So
that's a Night Thrasher.
And still in its bag. Do you have like a little card in there that came with it?
Gru?
Oh, Gru. Look at that.
Oh, here's that. All right. No, we're not doing. What are we doing? Wildstorm. Okay.
We're doing Wildstorm. All Jim Lee's
Wildstorm comics in here somewhere.
You know, it was interesting that the Image guys, I thought they all did a really good job of sort of emulating the characters they were famous for at Marvel, you know, so they could keep that sort of momentum going when they went off on their own. You know, it's kind of like Wildcats was kind of like X-Men. And what was Silvestri's team's name? Didn't he have something similar to that?
The Wolverine and the Wolverines.
Yeah, that was it. No, we had that Razor Claw guy or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Ripclaw. Now I like Ripclaw better. I like Ripclaw better than Metal Saber. Or what was this guy's name? Razor. It has been so long since I've looked at these. There.
But these guys,
Metal Saber as opposed to Paper Saber.
Well, you know, and then Dale comes on and does Pit, which is, you know, similar looking in terms of, you know, the Hulk. And so it's like everybody sort of took, you know, Spawn was sort of an amalgam between Spider-Man and Batman, I guess. And so
Devilman.
Yeah.
A little manga influence.
Oh, of course. There's always a little manga influence working its way there. Did I see something on the interwebs that were classifying you as a weeb, Kelsey?
Yeah, it's because I admitted to it. But I mean, like the cartoons I watched when I was growing up, they had like Speed Racer, Bionic 6 was made by a Japanese company, even though it was an American paid, Robotech. Transor Z, which was Mazinger Z. So yeah, I'm an OG weeb from the 80s.
An OG
Transor.
Yeah. Transor Z.
That explains a lot right there.
Well, you're an image reader too, so you shouldn't have any trouble like coming up with something to draw today.
As an image reader, yes.
Yeah. Image.
You're in it for the stories.
Stories, yeah. I did read them. I did. I read at least an issue or two of Spawn. I'm pretty sure I read all this, but I couldn't tell you.
But you don't remember.
No, not really. I must admit, didn't really leave that much of an impression on me as far as the story goes. But really cool as hell to look at.
Yeah. Well, I read Little Wildcats. I read a little Gen 13. I read a little. I read a lot of Pitt because it was a big monster book by Dale. So
of course
about that. But anyway, let's take a look at the chat. See who's joining us today on this this fine. What's going on here, David? I got two.
What? Imposter.
Yeah. All right. How's that? Did I get the right one? Okay. There we go.
How do we know that's the real David Williams?
That could be the wrong one.
We got multiple. Is there a multiple man? No, that was Marvel, wasn't it? Multiple man or something?
Yeah, Maddox or Madrox, the multiple man.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Might want to copyright that. All right, let's see.
Just in case.
Just in case. Pantheon is the first one in the door today. Greetings and salutations, Graybeards and chat. Tagamo Model Works is joining us. Sequential Artiste says, hi, Graybeards. Excited to witness your art inspired by the Grifterverse. Special thanks to Aaron. I got your meticulously packaged Captain Britain art, an Excalibur level addition to any collection. Look at that. Thank you so much.
I'm guessing he's saying Grifter was no doubt the biggest standout out of the entire Wildstorm universe. Is that the
I'm
one
guessing
that
that's where he's going with that. I don't know that he's really implying that Wildstorm was a grift.
No,
it's your show. You can imply anything you want.
I would. Hey, they were producing books, so therefore it couldn't be a grift, right?
Yeah.
Isn't the definition of grift is like you're selling something to somebody, but you're not delivering?
It's a con.
Taking the money and running, right?
This cover could be lying to me, though.
Yeah, where's the glory?
You might be in those terms. It might be a grift. After is that Jay Lee on those Youngblood cover?
Yeah, he did. He did a Youngblood or what's his name? Bishop. No.
I don't know. Not Bishop. No, it was Rook. No, it was trying to think of other chess names they could use.
Good thing we're all experts on.
We want to know what we're drawing. It's very important. Skull Nasher's here. He says, I hope someone does Rainmaker or Voodoo. Voodoo's got, that's a lot of work on those tattoos, man.
Tassels. She had those boots with the tassels all over it.
Brian Norton, all the way from Japan, says, Hail Graybeard's not familiar really with this category, so looking forward to seeing what is drawn. He's not familiar with the image books of the 90s. How about that? That's almost refreshing in a weird sort of way.
Well, I'm not that familiar either.
Wait a minute. David is back again in
his doppelgangers.
Not that one.
Okay.
This is like this movie Multiplicity.
Yeah. Okay, there he is. Okay. Let's see if we can get through this without David disappearing again. Dale A said, someday you'll get your shot, Ultraverse. Someday.
Someday.
I don't know. Schism, hail to the Graybeards of Gray. Let the Muppet faces commence. Ronan is here. He says, it's 80 degrees and sunny. I should be on my motorcycle, but here we are. Well, we thank you for joining us, Ronan.
Why are you not?
Hey. We don't want our audience dwindling anymore. Creative Faye wants to know if we've ever seen the Jack Lemmon movie, How to Murder Your Wife.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
He was a newspaper cartoonist.
Yeah, what is that referring to? Who do we want to murder?
Well, I think she just saying that the irony that he was a cartoon strip artist and we're sort of artists, I guess, sort of a connection there. Robert the Bruce is here. Marcus Killer Group, purveyor of all things pop culture knowledge. John without an H is joining us. Fox Mulder, Dave DiPietro. He says this is the best drawing stream on the web, and let me say the funniest too. Well, thanks, Dave. We've all taken up our our stand-up chops and work in the LA Strip, so we're ready to go. That's
nice line of sight that dwarf
Squibs is here. Birdman Burr. Michael Bancroft all the way from Australia. Custom God is joining us. I want to see some Gen 13 drawings, and you may see some. Let's see here. Nomadaman is here. Henry Bemis all the way from Oregon. Mr. Joker says, my guess Aaron might draw male from Wildcats because he's basically the Hulk. Well, thank you for enlightening me to that character.
He's the big green guy right here.
Yeah, there he is. Okay.
He vibrates too. Look at him vibrate.
Yeah, he's purple, so he's kind of like maybe what the Hulk was when he was sort of grayish. I don't know. Let's see. Skull Nasher, Mr. Joker, Robert the Brew. Omer Glitch is here. Curzon says, hello, all people happy. I don't know what that means, but I think
all
that means
happy.
people. Daniel Russell's here. Hidden Hand Media. Kevin Tomset from across the pond. Lone Star Viper is joining us. He's a monster. GJ Martinez. Let's get the show started. Wildstorm. Repairman Jack is joining us. And let's see who. Toshiro is here. Dad's Den of Pop Culture is joining us. Glad to see you back. Pitima. J Dread Dante Erics is here. I don't know what that refers to, but that's very interesting. Dante Erics. Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow is here. Let's see who else we got. Going through here really good. Carbon Dioxide is joining us. Don't
That's
breathe.
good.
Yeah, I was to say, don't roll up the windows and start breathing heavy. James Murphy is joining us. Repairman Jack, L.E., he who walks between worlds. Perhaps he's referring to Bigfoot. I don't know. Craig69 is joining us. Jerry Rasco, Maul seems like a character Aaron would enjoy drawing, but that's just what they expect me to do.
He's got great teeth.
He does. Look at that. Hollis Arts, Neil Orr. I think we got Rodney Ulabari is joining us. Thanks, Rodney, for joining us. I haven't seen you in a long time. Death Metal Heroes here, Iodine 74. And, of course, the Geek Avenger. Boy, we got a crowd rolling in for, you start talking about Image Comics and everybody shows up. Geek
they
Avenger.
Know what's good for them.
That's right. Geek Avenger for $2. Are any of you going to SummerCon in Puyallup, Washington? No. There was never an invite extended. So I am not going.
I was
not wanted. Caesar's here too.
Still waiting.
You still waiting for that?
For the invite, yeah.
There's Tree Goblin in HD, which is the best way to get Tree Goblin. Hostman's Lounge. Researching these Wildcat characters, they seem like the 90s design's philosophy boiled down to its essence. I would agree with that. I mean, nothing speaks 90s like Image does. Get off my grass is here.
I think Pockets pretty much says pouches, big guns,
overcoats. Robert Doan's Pills is here. Citizen Ronan is joining us, of course. And there we go. All right. Neil Orr says carbon, human civilization is a product of global warming.
That's true.
It is. All right. So as we sit here getting prepared to onslaught the audience with a visual buffet of 90s datedness. Do you think the 90s are dated? Do you think that you look at this stuff and you say this is definitely dated? Or do you think it transcends?
Yeah, the 90s is the new 80s.
Yeah.
Well, that's for sure.
I mean, you'd never get away with this. I mean, what's funny is like even just 10 years ago, I was like, oh yeah, it's a cool character. Now I'm like, God, that's so 90s.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's true. It is. I think the 90s definitely have, due to image, definitely have a look. And I think it is a little bit dated. And I don't know that it's old enough to have come full circle where it's kind of fashionable again. I don't know. We'll see.
Never lost its fashion to some of us.
That's true. Gary, what do you have with you today that you'd like to share with our audience?
I've started my commissions from my Brush with Destiny campaign. Here's the first one.
That's
Whoa,
a chick
Michonne.
from Walking Dead.
Yeah, so this is I'm going to be doing 17 more of these types of commissions. They're like headshot portraits.
Oh,
and there are people out there that have
So good.
backed that level, and I've reached out to everyone trying to get the character they want me to do, and some have not responded. So if you are in that category that you have not responded, please respond, or else you will get a blank piece of paper.
Which
I
maybe,
say and I started another piece. There's a Comic Art Fans is doing their virtual art con. I can't remember what they call it.
Oh, really?
It's basically an art exhibition sale through. Just go to Comic Art Fans website, and this is a piece that I'm doing for that. It's work in progress.
Ooh,
saucy. Is that
Marilyn Monroe as Wonder Woman?
That's what I was
for Supergirl.
Marilyn Monroe and Supergirl, as it kind of looked like.
Maybe.
But David, what were you saying? We cut you off, I think.
I was going to say that one on Gary's right, I guess it's his right, is really black. you used a lot of ink.
I did.
Well,
you said it, not us.
He's got his DEI quota,
It's easier to fill in black than it is to crosshatch.
It's true. Kelsey, what do you got for us besides Image Comics? Anything?
When you crosshatch black, you never go back.
That's right. That's what they say.
I'm only going to share off this. Anybody that follows me on Twitter will know that I recently discovered, to the surprise of many, that Mark Texera has a YouTube page where he shows himself painting and inking and doing commissions and things like that. And he only had like 100 subscribers or something like that, which I found horribly not good. So like,
it was horribly not good.
Yeah. So I mean, this is a legend from my time period of like reading comics, and he's still out there just killing it. Like, look at this shot of Punisher, man. I mean, he drew the manliest men, the womanliest woman, and sometimes the manliest women.
And, whatever it took.
But yeah, everybody go subscribe to him and get him making more videos, because I need more good stuff to look at. So he did Punisher. In case you don't know, big run on Punisher. Trying to find like a big action page here. Big run on Punisher. Big run on. See, it's a great example of Mark Texera. But I mean, he was kind of like who am I thinking of? Jorge Zafino. Yeah, a little bit Zafino. He was a Javier Sarteres inker for a while, so there's some stuff of like those guys working together. But anyway, he's fantastic. Go subscribe to him and make be kind to him and get him to make more videos for me.
That's a cool page right there.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right, there you go, David.
All right. I have something for an auction at the end of the show.
Oh,
it's the original pencils for this Judge Dredd cover I did for IDW. And my suggestion is get one of the inkers in that we know. You could get Gary, but Gary already did an inked version of this.
Yeah, I've already.
But you could hit up
Jimmy Reyes,
Jimmy Reyes, RT Bear, or if you really want to go crazy, go get Mike Miller to
say that without laughing. Can you say?
He was an inker and stuff. Now, I'm just saying, if you want to play on the razor's edge, get him. So
Kelsey, would you ink that?
Yeah, if the price is right.
Yeah. He turned into Matthew McConaughey. But
all right.
Aaron has some other things to share.
I do. I actually went and checked to see what David had sent me before the show started this time. So I was actually, this is some Wildstorm work from David's past.
And Kelsey's.
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey color this?
Yep.
Yes, he did.
And that is a photographic asset of a that I used in the background of
that's Apollo's O-ring.
An eclipse. Yeah, that's his O-ring.
Oh my god!
I have to admit that this is what I look like after I've consumed a corn dog.
Yeah, so does Apollo.
Beefy and glows.
Beefy and glowy.
Yeah. No, that's a nice. What were these for? So. Was this just like pinups, or were they trading cards? What was this for?
Well, I'm just showing the guys that I could draw these characters.
Oh, I see.
I did them just to do them, and I got Kelsey to volunteer as well. Hey, color this so we can look really good to these people.
Yeah, it's like color this for free, man. It's like
this led to one of the biggest disasters ever recorded on for the. What the hell name was this? The Invincibles? No. What team was this?
Authority.
The Authority, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that these guys were Wildstorm properties. I was thinking they were DC. I mean, they are DC because DC bought them, but they weren't originated there.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they were. That happened like right after Stormwatch. These guys were doing Stormwatch. Brian Hitch and Warren Ellis or somebody like that. Look at that. Come on.
Yeah, because Warren Ellis co-created these characters, right?
I think it was Warren. Yeah. I honestly can't remember. It could be Garth Ennis. Some of those British guys kind of run together.
Yes, they all kind of make.
I thought these were Mark Millar characters.
Mutton stew.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Could be Mark.
Really? I mean, I don't remember who was writing this stuff back when Wildstorm was putting all this stuff out. I mean, it was scrounging for work, but I don't remember who was writing what.
Oh, they said it was Warren Ellis.
Warren Ellis. Okay. I used to know all of this stuff, and I got to admit, it's kind of slipping away.
Uh-oh.
Age is a horrible thing. Okay, here's one more. I don't know who this is, but David will tell us.
Yeah, come on. That's some Wildstorm right there. That's Death Blow.
Is that who that is?
Yeah. And you know who owned that original?
Jim Lee?
No. Mike Rewinga.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. I like that. Real graphic.
I don't get. Yeah, it is. I love the design element of the whole thing, but what's the deal with the priest or the nun in there?
There's just the nun in the story, and I just said, okay, I'll draw that too.
Okay.
There's a lot of Catholic religious symbolism in it with death, and I never read that. That's another one I didn't read. But cool to look at.
It was drawn really well.
Yeah. Jim Lee did the first part, which I thought he did pretty good on the.
He was doing that Frank Miller thing, right? When he did
right, but then Tim Sale took it over, and that's really what made Tim Sale kind of like a household name before that Long Halloween story.
Did you guys get any work from them based on this stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm still on their blacklist.
We did a full issue. And the way they wrote it, there was multiple characters of the same character. And they didn't explain it clear enough in the script of which one was which. And so I drew it one way, and they said, "Oh no, you were supposed to draw the other one." And I was like, "There's no way I'm going back to redraw all of it." This is like I'm probably into page 22 at this point. I said, "I'm not going back to redraw all of those. No way." And that's when I dipped out.
Oh,
And
and
that's
this is
when I stepped
Kelsey-
up and I was like, I can finish
volunteered.
it for you. Yeah.
So you're saying this is your first and last job for Wildstorm?
Yeah, because they screwed it up even after I worked on it. I was doing them at like comic book size in the computer, and
they also
weird.
took forever to pay. So I was just like, I don't know how to deal with this.
That's not my first faux pas with Wildstorm. So, oh well.
Well, the stuff I did for Wildstorm is not exactly memorable, so I'm not exactly going to share it. But I will.
Here, I got it right
Kelsey
here. It's a pin up in the
Kelsey
back of glory.
Now I want to share this because I found this sort of interesting. I'm not sure what it says about anything, but come on, focus, baby. Somebody
nice.
contacted me in the chat of my show on Sunday asking if they could buy this. They said the piece, where you killed Gary Martin, and I was
Wait
like,
a minute, Gary Martin. I just noticed that.
I kind of remember you writing that, but I don't remember what I did to,
well,
just know you deserved it.
yeah, I know. There's no question you deserved it, Gary.
Do you remember, Aaron?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay, anyone in the
what it
chat
was,
remember
but,
what my transgression was?
I can't remember because they all just sort of, pardon the expression, bleed together.
Yeah.
But
You were probably talking over him during an auction.
probably more than one. But someone bought this from me, and so I thought, what a great time to bring it up. Done on this very show. So,
Well, contrary to the other usage of red, that's a nice piece, except for the red.
well, it's that sort of deceptive Chinese red. It's much redder on my other camera.
Those
No, I'm not-
deceptive Chinese reds.
Yeah, they're so deceptive. So
Yeah,
because
you can't trust it.
because my mentor Joe Jusko said, Aaron, don't get those crappy paints that Kelsey uses. And he said, get soft body acrylics. So I ordered a set of soft body acrylics. So with, I'm going to go kill my dog in a minute here. 12 colors. And I figured I could mix what else I need. But I thought I need some extra white. You can never have enough white. And so there you go. These are going to be the paint set that I will use to bring the Kit Carter movie poster to life. So there it is.
Aaron, I'm about to possibly incur your wrath again, but if I contacted Jusko and asked him, is Aaron Lopresti your protege? What would he say?
He'll say who?
He would Joe would probably be very, nice and say, "Oh, Aaron's not my protege. He's too good to be that." But yes, he gives me painting advice, and I'm gonna go strangle my dog now.
Yes, I'm sure that's exactly what Joe
Well,
just
I'm
goes.
closing the door, so at least it's muffled a little bit. No,
I
he's
thought
been,
I thought you were going to hit him with the shillelagh.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. Shillelagh.
So my daughter and her boyfriend went to the mall yesterday, and they went to the Lego store. And as a tribute to me, they made a Lego Aaron. There he is.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty
What's on his
good.
shirt? What's on his shirt?
I don't know. I said, what the heck is it's a hoodie basically with some sort of sound bar on a t-shirt. I said, they go, that's all they had. They said that's the only one with a hoodie.
Does
So
he have
apparently I wear
powdered
hoodies
sugar?
a lot.
Does he
That's
have
your
powdered sugar on his
subscriber.
chin?
What's that?
Does he have powdered sugar on his chin?
If you look real close, he does have a little goatee going on, but you can't really
You can't.
He's-
Yeah.
you can't really tell.
What's on his
good.
shirt is the subscriber count going down right now. That's
No. Yeah, but please, as Kelsey, glad he brought that up. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like or subscribe button, or like and subscribe button, it helps us feel better about ourselves. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it doesn't actually do anything, but
Yeah, it does help us feel better about it. Oh, David, no, David, you got is that brand new?
Yeah, I just got this.
Did you get that at the dollar store?
No, I got it at Hobby Lobby. Look at how much.
$8.99.
Yeah.
Wow. It's still a little out of my price range, but it's pretty dang good. How much did you get those acrylics for, Aaron?
They were 40 some bucks.
Oh,
damn.
$50, I think, maybe.
Sheesh.
Well,
yes, it's because he bought that from based on the advice from his mentor.
that's right. Well, look they're professional grade paints, so that's what I
expect just go results out of
Hey,
that.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Aaron, my mentor, Michael Golden, said don't do it.
Michael Golden was my mentor at one time too, so you can't pull that crap on me.
Just because he was the art director at Marvel doesn't make him your mentor, guys.
I hung out with him. He gave me career-changing advice that makes him my mentor.
He said,
my
"Give up."
mentor, Maxfield Parrish, said,
Aaron, based on your definition of mentor, I'm your mentor as well.
But I disavowed that long ago. So
And
I cut the ties long ago for that. You are my inking mentor. You are. But I am the master. I've moved
and I
beyond
am
that.
the apprentice. Yeah.
So anyway, okay. You guys have any feelings about what you may be drawing? Kelsey, what do you think?
I think I'm drawing the whole damn team.
Oh my gosh, are you really?
I think I am.
Oh, okay.
What team?
Go for it.
The
Wildstorm?
You better start drawing.
Wildcats? Wow.
Huh?
Yeah, stop talking and start
put that
drawing.
comic down. Pick up your pencil, and while they're talking, Kelsey.
That's probably true.
David, what did you have in mind?
I was thinking I was going to draw that little midget character. Is midget politically correct?
You mean that little person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's Munchkin, I think, is the preferred nomenclature.
Oh,
no.
Is that his name?
No,
I could be wrong.
I think it's Squirt.
No, you're gonna draw a little
we're going
guy
straight
in
to
a
hell.
suit.
Yeah, we're going straight to hell.
No, it's Puck, isn't it? Isn't that the little guy?
No, that's from Alpha Flight.
That's just
Oh,
he's a fictional character. So you can
Imp.
call it anything
It's
you
Imp,
want.
right?
Imp.
EMP.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to draw that character. But remember in the Little Rascals, they called them fidgets.
No, I don't remember that.
He said, they go, it's a fidget.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember that.
So David is, seriously, can you answer the question or are you just going to?
I really don't know. I don't know. So
Yeah, you're giving too much information out there to the chat. Anybody want to understand who David Williams truly is, just watch the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
He's Spanky.
I guess I want some 11 by 14 paper, but I don't have any, so I'm going to go really big or go home. I'm going 11 by 17.
Woo!
Uh-oh.
So you're drawing all the characters too, huh? Stormwatch.
No, I'm going
Right?
to draw one big character.
Oh.
He wants to fill the page.
Um,
As your ex-mentor, I applaud your decision.
is it
You taught him well, Gary.
is it too predictable for me to draw Fairchild?
No.
Okay.
No, I think that's what the people want.
People are demanding it. I got to find a blue pencil. I had to open up I only got 2 boxes of blue pencils left, and they quit making them. So I'm trying to be judicious about how I use these light blue. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably too dark.
I bought a box of those. I bought a box of those, and I'm just using the eraser. I'm not using the pencils.
That's a
The
good
erasers
eraser.
are great, but you know what works just as well as these is those pink pencil topper erasers, not the ones you buy at like the dollar store, Kelsey. Those are like coated and they smear the pencil. But if you actually go to like Blix and get these pencil topper pink, they work fantastic.
That's good to know. I'm writing that down.
I've got bags of them over here, and that's all I use. Are those, but they're not, like I said, they're not like the kind you'd get
The
at
cheap ones, yeah.
the cheap ones, yeah, because those are crap. But these, you go to Blix and get those pink erasers. They're every bit as good as the erasers that are on these
Okay.
cold erase.
I got I don't have one. Oh, here it is.
What?
This one is Exam God from Japan, I think.
Oh my gosh, that sounds powerful.
Exam God. I don't know if it's
He's really good at taking tests.
Uh-oh, we lost David again. Now his triplet or quadruplet is going to come in.
Ah, there he is back again.
There
Now
it
I
is.
just picked this up, General Tri-Tip Eraser, and it has 3 different languages on it, so it must be good.
You remember when we were starting out and we were just desperate for like art supplies, and we'd get everything that John Buscema mentions in
Right,
whatever book, and then like later we're just like whatever. We just say this is an eraser from.
Well, it's because we learned it's not about the tools.
Well, yeah, but nicer tools are nicer.
True.
They're easier to use. Let's put it that way. You're not fighting them as much.
They're just not as embarrassing. Let's
Right.
be for real. Yeah.
I mean, you all know that a good brush when you're inking is vital because it's almost impossible to do a nice ink job with a crappy brush. So
That's
I mean,
true. Yeah.
if you're trying to ink like Joe Sennett, but if you're trying to ink like Calvin and Hobbes, it's an old crappy brush is
okay.
fine.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, Michael Bancroft says it's about the motion in the ocean.
Well, there's that.
I was thinking if we had Bancroft on the show that he would class it up, but apparently after
No,
that comment,
I don't think so.
I don't think he
I
would.
didn't get that impression, Gary.
classy Australian. That's hilarious.
When was the last time you ever saw that?
It's the accent that fools me.
You almost sound British. You must be classy.
Right, exactly.
Henry Bemis said, "My next project is Fidget Force."
That sounds like a Terry Gilliam movie.
Right?
Hey, speaking of which, I found Jabberwocky on like one of our streaming services.
Yeah, I've got that on
Free.
disc. Yeah, I've got it on disc.
I've never seen that one.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it since it came
It's
out.
my favorite Terry Gilliam film.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good.
Now, would you consider it a comedy or kind of a how would you classify that?
Yeah, comedy.
Because I remember watching it after it was on a double bill back in the good old days, and it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail and Jabberwocky, right? And so I figured it would be exactly like Monty Python. It had the same guys in it, and I was like,
Yeah, I thought that too until I learned that it was not a Monty Python production.
but I had moments in it where I was like, am I supposed to be laughing right now or not?
Yeah, typical Terry Gilliam, where
Yeah,
he
you're just-
mixes humor with horror.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so absurd that you're laughing, but you're like, I don't know if I'm really, is this supposed to be funny right now?
Yeah, the guy who lops off his feet is like, so he could beg, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we could be partners.
Yeah, it's like,
Get off your feet."
you're like, that's not really funny. I mean, it's
It is in a very disturbed. Sort of-
Yes. So that's why I was very anxious to watch it again because I haven't, like I said, I think I was maybe 15 when I saw it, and I was like,
I think if you watched it again, you would completely confirm your original suspicions of that it's weird.
But now you'll identify with why the guy cut off his feet to make
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. I might be up for that myself.
But it's still my favorite. My favorite. I've watched it probably 10 times. It's my favorite Gilliam film.
Even more than Brazil, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you went and saw Brazil.
Well,
Yeah,
everybody
Dave.
bailed on me, and I decided not to go by myself. And so what I did do, though, is I went back and looked at several scenes and to kind of refresh my memory and kind of put the thing back together, because I haven't seen it since, I don't think I've seen it since it came out in 85. And I had formed opinions about what it was and what how you're supposed to take certain things. And after watching these scenes again, I started wondering if maybe I misread it. And
Well, Tree Goblin clears it up. He says Jabberwocky is a documentary on British life.
well, there's the one scene where I think it's Michael Palin. He's sleeping on the side of a castle, and this water drips on his face. In the morning, and he wakes up, and he looks up, and there's a guard up there zipping up his pants.
Yeah.
And I laughed at that. I thought, okay, that's supposed to be funny. But
That's pretty good. That old chestnut. Yeah.
yeah. But like
Yeah,
the
Terry Gilliam's small part where he's like this crazy dude in the forest and he thinks he has a diamond mine and they're just rocks.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Well, the Jabberwocky would like kill its victims, and their heads would be okay, but the rest of their bodies,
But it would just be like
with meat hanging off of them.
big ribs. Yeah, Time Bandits is up there with me, and then
Oh yeah, that was a great one.
the one with Bruce Willis. What was that called?
Oh,
12 Monkeys.
Oh
Yeah,
12.
I like that
Monkeys.
one a lot.
Yeah, that's actually pretty brilliant. Actually, that movie.
Yeah.
It gets better like every time I see it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that film.
Do you ever notice that all of Gilliam's films are at some point dystopian future works into it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
At some
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
He had a very cheerful outlook on things.
Yeah, I guess he did.
What is with Terry Gilliam and dirty plastic?
Yeah.
He loves dirty
Well,
plastic.
it's an inexpensive, special effect.
It's weird.
I was watching an interview with him just a couple of days ago on YouTube. It was a short one. They were talking about how he worked with Bruce Willis on 12 Monkeys. And he said that Willis was, really wanted to prove he was a serious actor and not just an action star, right? Kind of that Errol Flynn syndrome. And so he did a Pulp Fiction, but he didn't get the nomination. Sam Jackson and John Travolta got nominated. And so then he felt like he still had to prove himself. So that's why he took on 12 Monkeys. And then it turns out that Brad Pitt gets the nomination for 12 Monkeys, and he still doesn't. So
Brad Pitt was great in that film.
he was. That was when Brad Pitt was going through that stage where he was trying not to be attractive because he was like so good.
Yeah.
I don't think he was afraid no one would take him seriously,
Do you think he would have got the nod if he would have took Brad Pitt's part and wouldn't have been the lead?
Probably, because that's what Gilliam said. He goes, all the guys when you're doing the twitching and stuff, that's when you get the nomination. And, he said he talked to he also mentioned Robin Williams, and he said he did the Fisher King with Robin Williams, although that even though it was Jeff Bridges' movie, really he said he actually used that line. He said Robin Williams got to do all the twitching, and so he ended up with the nomination.
That's hilarious.
But it's true, it's like those are the roles that appear to be most like acting. I remember someone saying that about when Dustin Hoffman won for Rain Man. They're going, well, Dustin Hoffman won because he did the thing that most Academy members looked the most like acting to the Academy members.
Yeah. I think that's why, a lot of people like Jason Palmer brought this up about the Joker movie. He said that really wasn't about the Joker. It was about, Joaquin Phoenix acting, because that was such a disjointed, so-called Joker movie.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. I liked that movie, but every time they brought up Batman or anything related to the comic, I was like, oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a movie about, this psychopath really that just happened to put on clown makeup, right? I mean, that's really sort of what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a Batman. You didn't feel like a Batman movie or a Batman family movie, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's because these comic book movies and Star Wars movies, all these giant tentpole movies have sucked all the oxygen out of the room for any of these mid-level, personal, kind of psychological thrillers, small action budget movies. They're all gone. So they squeeze that stuff into the superhero stuff, or that's why I think that's part of why the stuff never seems like it's a real adaptation of some comic book. It's because they're using it as an opportunity to make the movie they've been trying to get made for the last 10 years and couldn't do.
Sure.
I thought Joaquin Phoenix and Napoleon was a better Joker movie than the Joker. No,
That's funny.
I haven't seen that yet. I want to see that. Is it any good?
No, I haven't seen it yet either.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. I saw it.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back.
No, sit down with your dry mouth. Dang it, you left.
Sit down with your dry mouth and suck it up, pal. Well, I canceled our cable TV finally because it was so freaking expensive. I said, I'm done. And so we've got like these streaming services, and we've had them for a while because that's all Shelly does is watch streaming services. I really watch sports on TV and Turner Classic Movies, and that's about it. And so I'm not really missing it, but I've started looking through the streaming service, and I was like, God, there's a lot of programs here I could have been watching that was not even aware of that look like they might be kind of good. So, and those streaming services are generally like $9-10 a month, $6 a month, whatever, whereas you're paying $250+ a month for cable. And it's like, why am I paying this money?
Yeah, that's great.
For this crap. So, and I hardly ever, like I said, I watch some sports and that's about it. And so I'm like, why am I spending this money on this?
I only purely watch YouTube.
I do too now. Like shows like Graybeard'S Studio, killer show. If you have not seen it, you should check that out. Aaron Live is another one of my favorite shows.
So is that part of your process after you finish the show? You sit down and grab a snack and then view it.
Yeah. Knock yourself over and over again. Oh, it's hilarious.
That host is hilarious.
Boy, I really zinged Gary that time.
You should clip this and make it its own thing. When I'm drawing, I'll like go on YouTube and find like some guy talking about, my top 10 comics, what's hot this month kind of thing in the collector's market. And I'll just listen to him talk about this stuff, for 20 or 30 minutes and then come back over and find another video. There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube.
I've been watching this one guy, and I can't remember. I wonder if I got him up somewhere. But I noticed he did videos where he went over all of the old comic books that I was showing off earlier, like, Youngblood and X-Force. Let's see if I can find him so I can actually give him a proper plug. But here, okay, Robert Norton on YouTube. And it's really funny because I was watching the him go review the first X-Force, and he's just unmerciful with it. He's like, and Boom Boom, she hadn't done nothing but stand around looking like an old woman. You know?
A big old tattoo thigh on her leg, left thigh tattoo there, and she was a stripper, right? And then she became a superhero or something.
Boom Boom. No, that was
No, you're thinking of Voodoo.
Yeah,
Voodoo.
right. I thought you said Voodoo. Oh,
no, this is from X-Force. It's
Boom Boom. Oh,
Boom
okay.
Boom.
Boom Boom. Not to be confused with Voodoo that you do so well.
But he's done like all of them. Just every comic that I loved growing up. I'm sure he talks. You know, it's like it's fun. I could see it, but look how dumb this is. So it's like it's a little bit of both love and just contentment. You know, like I don't know. I got a kick out of it. So. You got to be able to laugh at this stuff because it's like, I mean, on one hand, I get it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not compared to the stuff we've seen since, and other greats from the past. Yeah, it's maybe not the best, but yeah, it's still fun. It engaged that fun, and it was like right at that time where, I just getting into comics, so.
Well, no, it was an exciting time in comics. It was I thought the 80s were what kind of drugged me back into comics into the mid 80s, where as a reader, and it was really exciting. But I was getting to that point in my life where I was trying to think about breaking in, so there was sort of that excitement that I tied with the 80s. And that 90s was just like, it was a different kind of, it was like suddenly it felt like the sky was the limit, Well, if these guys can get together and do this and sell a bazillion copies, why can't I? I kind of found out why you couldn't pretty fast, but
why?
I sucked and nobody knew who I was.
Oh, okay.
The main thing.
I wasn't quite sure. Just checking.
Gary, do you have some sort of
Sure, I just wanted you to say it.
Oh, I admit it freely. Gary, you got to work on your sound effects, man. Fox Mulder for $10. Thank you, Fox. Wanted to say thank you to Gary for the art book he included with the Tachyon original art. Unfortunately, I disregarded his advice and did read Paul Kupperberg's dialogue. And now he wants his money back.
Yeah, you want your money back? You got to send it back to me. Just cut out the lettering. That's all.
Yeah, but that's some sweet looking lettering, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Don't read the lettering, but treat it as its own form of artwork.
Oh man, I'm realizing I'm doing Zealot the exact same pose that she is on this cover.
So what?
Yeah, that's my feeling now. Yeah.
Jay Dredd wants to know if Paul Kupperberg was bad as everyone says. Well, apparently Aaron still has some Tachyon original pages that I'm sure he would sell them to you cheap. You can find out for yourself.
Yeah, you could be your own judge. Yeah.
No, the thing was that I'm a little bitter about it because of, that he kind of got me blacklisted at the time, rather than taking any heat for his poor scripts. And
would you be as bitter if someone bought some of the artwork?
Yeah, I pretty much.
I'm putting this money in the bank, but I hate every minute of it.
Well, I mean, I felt like the artwork on Tachyon was good. I thought it was consistently good, where Sludge was kind of breakthrough for me, but it still wasn't. There was moments where it was like you could see, oh yeah, this guy's got potential. And I had definitely taken a step, but there was still some inconsistencies there. I really felt like Tachyon was polished. And you know, it got no recognition at all from anybody, even the people at DC who should have seen that, oh yeah, the artwork's pretty good, this comic sucks, but no, it's, well, you know, Kupperberg complaining about me down the halls of DC, you know, and suddenly I can't get work at DC anymore. It didn't make any sense.
Is he still alive?
I think so. I think he's a big fan of the show, or was, until just then.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was just like, sheesh. You like lighting him up every other week.
He kids because he cares.
I do. Well, I'm just telling the truth, man.
Well, I think, you know, based on the stories you were given, I don't think anyone could have really, you know, elevated that book. You know, so your point is well taken that, you know, the art was solid. It wasn't the art.
Not even your mentor, Michael Golden?
He wasn't the art director then.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think Golden would have approved that storyline.
He just wouldn't have done it. Yeah.
No.
Well, I know Michael told me when he was at DC, he was getting really kind of irritated because they were using him more as a Mr. Fix-It than they were a real art director. Hey, Michael, can you fix this dude's story? Hey, can you draw this? Can you, you know, because he was so good. And it was like they didn't want him sitting there not drawing. And they.
So he's on salary, and they think they're like getting free artwork.
Exactly.
Aaron, did you start over?
Yeah.
If you had this nice figure going, then now it's like,
well, in all fairness to Golden, if he was truly in charge, none of that would have ever gone to print ever. So they had to
that's the truth with him. He was very picky, and he should be, you know, because he was very good. And but they were just like, I think when he agreed to become art director, they were like, oh my gosh, we got this guy sitting here to fix stuff. So it was like, you know.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, every 5 minutes, hey, Michael, could you draw this for me?
Hey, this guy did this pinup, but it kind of sucks. Can you fix it?
It's like Gary's purposely doing crappy drawings himself and saying, hey, can you fix this?
Yeah. And then, can I have it?
You were in here 5 minutes ago, Gary. Jeez.
I was at a Comic-Con, and Bern Hogarth, this was before I was a professional, Bern Hogarth was a guest, and he was doing portfolio reviews.
Oh boy!
So I was showing him some stuff, and he took out some tracing paper and laid it over my artwork and redrew it. And I was like, oh, what about this? And what about that? And he just kept drawing until the whole thing was just filled with all these cool Hogarth. And then I said, could you sign this for me? And he initialed it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I still have that piece.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, you gotta dig
it's just
that
like
up.
sketches of anatomy, you know, like a leg and
I thought you were going to say, and I light boxed it and I turned it in as a submission.
I got work.
That's how I got my work at DC. Hold on a second. Admiral Wackass. I like saying Wackass. Gary, you going to do a second chance on your art book? I wanted to grab it, but he couldn't for financial card issues. No, I'm not doing a second chance. I am going to have an official link to get it after I finish all my art commissions. If you can't wait, then you can contact me directly through my email, inkart@earthlink.net. So if you can't wait till then, which is probably like about a month away.
So basically what you're saying is people can still get the book, but they just order it directly from you.
Right. That's unofficial though. I mean.
Yeah, just for people on this show.
Yeah.
Dingus. Go answer that door.
Yeah, I think it might be the mailman. So hold on a second.
Candygram.
Is that shark? Now I can kick Gary out finally.
Now you can what?
I can kick Gary out finally.
He's had this coming.
I've been counting the days until I can. So it's kind of interesting to me that would you guys say that Gen 13 ended up being Wildstorm's biggest property? As a comic book property?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
And that was Brandon Choi and J. Scott Campbell, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, I know J. Scott Campbell was on it. I know he was.
I don't know the Jim Lee.
Him
I don't
and
think it was the Jim Lee creation, was it? I just think it's kind of interesting.
Does it really matter who wrote it?
Yeah, it all kind of.
No, I mean, I was getting at who basically was who created it.
The actual creator, yeah.
Yeah, it's Jim Lee's biggest property, something he didn't have anything to do with.
Well, I don't know. The Authority probably became the biggest. I'm guessing. I don't know. Gen 13 was pretty damn big, but Authority.
The Authority, aren't they going to be in the new Superman movie?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, but they became popular after DC bought them more than when they were just at Wildstorm, right? Or am I mistaken?
No, they were. That was a massive. I mean, I don't remember a DC Authority book. Maybe I'm not thinking of that right.
Well, maybe I'm not, because I'm not dialed in like I should be to this stuff. But those characters, like the Midnighter and that blonde guy, they appeared other places in the DCU. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, since then, yeah.
Aaron, I just noticed. Are you working on the first drawing?
Yeah, I went back. No, I changed the tilt of the head and the face, and now I'm kind of liking it.
Could you show the other one so we can compare?
No. Why would I do that?
Why would you do it?
No.
The chat wants to see the other one.
Do they? The chat wants to? I don't think they do, Gary. I think you want to.
Yeah. Yes or no? We're taking an informal poll. Do you want to see Aaron's second drawing now and make a comparison? Oh, never mind. I see why you're doing this one.
Oh, you started something now.
No, see, I was going to do like a high angle, but then I thought, well, that's more boring than what I was doing. So.
Okay, no, I agree with you. Yeah, continue.
So, okay, thank you. My mentor gave me the green light. So.
Yeah. As your mentor, I say go. Keep trying. Ex-mentor.
That's right. Excellent. Let's make sure that's clear. No, I did 2 issues of.
Is an ex-mentor a failed mentor?
Yes.
I think so. Because I disowned
I have
you.
to stop saying that.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know, because I mean, was Darth Vader a failed mentor was Darth Vader or Obi-Wan? Did he think that he was a failed mentor? I guess he would. Because,
He would. He does. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you are failed, Gary. Get out.
Are you comparing yourself to Vader? Is that the moral of the story?
He's like, yes.
I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I may be.
Well, at least you're the Obi-Wan.
No, actually, I see Gary. I see you more in the Vader role, actually. So I don't know.
Of course you do.
Oh my goodness.
These are really difficult characters to draw a lot of.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, see, now here comes the. Why did I choose this?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that. These very complex character designs.
well, Kelsey's got these, always has genius ideas, and then the execution is where we start having problems.
I'm an idea man, for crying out loud. Follow through, guy.
Yeah, your job is done.
For crying out loud.
You get somebody else to draw it. Where's
you guys
Michael
see this,
Bancroft? Is he still hanging around?
Let's see. What would
Can you guys see this okay?
what would Keith Giffen do?
Yes, it looks great.
Oh, that's that guy. What's his name?
It's that guy.
Spartan.
Put it to the left
Oh,
of
Spartan. Yeah.
David.
Huh?
Aaron, I think you should switch the cameras around to where David's is to the left of yours.
I see what Gary's doing.
Oh.
Oh.
But
Salty Gary, they call him. He's a
Salty G! Salty G!
Salty G.
Another nickname.
You don't have enough nicknames for me already, David.
He's a seafaring captain, the Salty G. Talking about the gals back at the port they left behind. Now I talked about this before, I think, on this show, that I did a Gen 13 two-parter with my other mentor, Walter Simonson.
How many, Aaron? Just how many mentors did you have?
As many as I could claim.
was that one of those Gen 13 bootlegs or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not something that anybody can confirm unless you contact that person directly. And what are the chances?
No, that's I have actual visual evidence.
But long ago, my first mentor, Frank Frazetta, would say to me,
There it is. That's me, Walter, and Shelley right there at Walter's
well,
house.
I think Walter's Shelley's mentor. I don't know.
No, he's
Your mentor.
no, he's
That was him escorting you off his property when you guys just
no.
showed up.
See,
Waiting for the cops to arrive.
no, it's Walter and Wheezy mentoring me out in front of their house.
Yeah, look at the mentors.
They're paying you for mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
The hedge trimmers are right over there in the shed.
Oh. Brian Norton says Aaron was mentored by Da Vinci himself.
Yeah.
Right. How do you? Yeah, you can't disprove that.
I mean, it's like I had lunch with Stan Lee once. He was at the table on the other side of the restaurant, but I consider that the same thing.
That's true.
We were there together.
Yeah.
I was in a restaurant in New York with Howard Cosell once.
His photo was on the wall of people that have.
No. It was really funny because I was sitting there eating and I heard this from the across the room. I swear I heard this. Muhammad Ali. Like that. I go, is that, could it be? And I turned and there was Howard Cosell holding court with, I don't know, 6 or 7 people at his table. He was telling stories about Muhammad Ali.
And I'm sure every head in the restaurant turned when they heard that.
Yeah.
It was really funny because that'd be like the one cliche thing you would expect to hear. And I heard it.
Right. He probably practices that in the mirror.
Meatballs and spaghetti.
Good old Muhammad Ali. So,
TJ Martinez says, Aaron, you look like an NBA coach in that picture.
yeah, well, maybe I was mentoring Walter. Huh? How about that? That would even be cool.
Well, you already,
Hey, I got to look at his original artwork. So,
how did you have those photos handy? Did you have them in your pocket?
no, Shelley found them not too long ago and just dropped them off right here on the
Conveniently put them within.
If you want a name drop, here you go. And I went, yes,
Okay.
perfect.
He was like, I'm going to squeeze this in somehow.
I just happened to have proof.
Yeah, I just have to prove that I was in a mentorship program with the
mentorship program. Yeah.
He took me off,
it grows.
he took me off the streets and yeah. He's moving right now. I don't know where to, but
Well, it's because you know where he lives.
There's some truth there, I think.
Quit setting them up for me. Jeez.
Yeah, stop showing up at my door, Aaron, and asking for advice.
I kind of felt a little bit like Steve Rude there, right? Just kind of show up and go, Hey, I'm not bothering you, am I?
Get off my lawn.
Well, he did that to Paul Galassi, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Kirby.
And David did it to him, right?
I don't know about Kirby. Steve told me that Kirby would, anyone that would visit him, he would spend time with them. He'd stop drawing and spend time with them. So I don't know if Kirby was, like, hey man, you're interrupting me. But Glacy, yeah, he would.
Wouldn't you want him to keep drawing? I mean, I'd want to sit there and just be a fly on the wall, just watch him draw. No, Jack, go on.
Yeah. Pretend I'm not here. But can I have a sandwich while you're working?
Hurry up and answer this, man.
David G for $4.99 says, I wish you guys would stop picking on Aaron. These are his damn lies, and he'll tell them if he wants.
Damn lies.
Damn lies, yeah.
Well, I guess you guys sure showed me. There we go. Kino Reviews says, I heard Kirby kept drawing and his wife kept feeding everyone. That's my kind of visit.
Yeah.
Like, Jack, you keep drawing and talking, and Roz, what do you got in the refrigerator there that can?
There's always like that. I've heard that story so many times. Roz would make us sandwiches. I mean, I think everybody that went to Kirby's house has that same story.
I never got there. Now I feel bad for myself.
I wanted those sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forget about what Kirby was doing. Tell me more about the sandwiches.
Kirby was drawing until he got his sandwiches. That's all.
Well, Gary and I went to, and a couple other guys went to Plug's house when he lived in Seattle, and
there were sandwiches, baby.
Oh yeah, his wife really fed us. That was really good. We literally got to look through his basement studio full of artwork.
Oh man,
like unpublished Ghost Rider cover he had there.
Oh wow,
it was just pencils too, and I was tempted to buy it and then ink it, and I said, "Why would I ruin this?" So I didn't buy it.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of his pencils too, and I thought the same thing. Oh man, I could ink this, and I'm like, wait a minute, I would devalue it if I.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I do that? So, but we could have made blue lines out of them and inked those.
Well, back then though, we didn't have that technology.
That's true.
I
have some Wrights and blue lines here, like a Frankenstein page.
Really?
Yeah, and what Steve Morger, who used to put on the big wow, or him along with the other Steve, and they would have this like. At least he was. This thing I liked about Steve. At least he was upfront about it. They go, look it. We're bringing you out. We're doing this stuff. We're not making any money on this show, so we want you guys to do an art auction. Contribute some artwork, and so we can raise some money to help pay for the show, right? And I said, okay, that's fair. So he would send out blue lines of stuff every year, and I remember one time I got a cover from John Buscema from an Avengers issue that didn't get published. And so I inked that one time. And then one year he sends us these blue lines to like a Frankenstein piece by Wrightson. And you're like, it would take me like 6 months to ink this. Are you kidding me? I'm not doing this. And
that sounds like something he would do.
Yeah. You're just kind of like, okay, where's the Buscema pieces at?
Right. Like you guys, but Devil's Advocate says or asked, does Gary have a Mount Rushmore of inkers? I do. They're listed in the back of my inking book. There's like 30 names that I can't remember.
That important, huh?
Well,
no, I mean, there's a lot.
Wait a minute. There's only 4 on Mount Rushmore. You better give us your 4, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get 30, carvings of people on a mountain.
Well, you got 4 guys you could do.
I don't think it would. Every day that 4 would change.
Probably Scott Williams, Mark Farmer, Klaus Jansen, and
I'm sure none of those guys are on.
None of those guys.
Yeah.
They're all on my.
Mark Schultz.
List.
Mark
Yeah,
Schultz.
they're all on my list, but not
Well, I look
not
at
top
it like
4.
I think you got to do somewhat influential, right? And definitely
Yeah.
Scott Williams has to be on there because he created that whole sort of pen inking style that became so prevalent in the 90s and
But
beyond.
I always admired his work, and he's phenomenal inker. But he was never an influence on me because what he did is completely different than what I
Right,
did.
but I'm talking about just guys that maybe they weren't an influence on you, but probably should be there based on their, like Joe Sinnott. You'd probably have to put on there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 'cause he was an influence. I would definitely send it.
And that's tough. You get to the
Who
other
else?
two.
Boland, obviously.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't consider Boland just an inker. He's more of an illustrator that inks.
Well,
He's a
but I
great inker.
studied his inking more than his drawing.
Kelsey, what do you think about that? Is that cheating? Can you use Boland on that?
Sure. I'd put Kevin Nolan in there too.
Oh, that's true. Oh man, David with the SmackDown. Yeah, that if Kevin Nolan, well, I guess what would you have to have inked another person? Has Brian Boland ever inked anyone else?
I'm sure he has.
He inked some Neil Adams stuff at Continuity.
Oh,
It was very cool. Yeah.
I want to take guys that were just basically known for their inking, and that's how I would narrow it down, make it a little bit easier.
You know what that does? That kind of minimizes them as artists because
I'm okay with that.
You could do that to a colorist, but not a fellow inker who touches the pencils in such an intimate way. Come on.
I would see Kevin. That's like saying Rudy Nebres because they take over. But is that really fair? I mean,
yes.
Are those
because
embellishers
over-
more than inkers?
Yeah, they go beyond just inking. They're
But it's still inking. You're still
Right.
putting the final look.
Yeah, inking is a broad term.
Like Jerome, he embellishes over people, but you want it to
He
happen.
doesn't
You're like,
anymore.
please. Yeah, and you're like,
used to.
that's why you go to Kevin Nolan. You want Kevin Nolan to go ham. It's
No,
like,
because
please.
you want original Kevin Nolan artwork, and that's how you get it.
Yeah, but the inking, it's because of the inking.
Right.
The
And
inking
then
is so
Aaron,
good.
I would put Golden on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah.
That would, based on your definition, he would be disqualified.
Right.
He is a hell of an inker, though. Yeah,
Well,
an
that's the
inker
other
over
thing.
himself.
I'm trying to make it so it's easier to narrow down your choices, so you don't
Okay.
have as many options.
Yeah, Razmain has actually went to the book and he's pulled out names. One that I forgot I would put on my Mount Rushmore is Franklin Booth.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I was just looking at him the other day.
He's
huge-
disqualified. He never worked in comics.
doesn't say the question had nothing to do with comics.
I thought you were trying to make it easier, Aaron. This is
Wow, man. What's
But
all
he
these
was
rules?
a huge influence on me. Was
Gary,
Franklin Booth.
you're screwing it up. Um,
But that's what I'm saying. It changes. I couldn't narrow it down to just 4.
well,
I swipe from everybody. That's my point.
equal opportunity swiper. Yeah, I'll swipe from anyone.
Yep.
now I can't name my 4 because I'll get ridiculed by you guys for not having a broad enough category.
No, I don't.
Please
Yeah,
tell us so we can ridicule you.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
you see, now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
No, if it was just guys that all they did was ink in comics, this is how I rank them.
Well, see, you're not going to look at artwork based on that premise. Who are the guys that only ink? I'm going to study them. You're just going
Well,
to
I mean,
good inking.
The question was your Mount Rushmore of inkers.
Right.
So if you're gonna just do
Let's go back.
guys that are generally known as,
I'm going back to the original question because we're all paraphrasing.
Okay.
If I can find it. Skull Nasher says Vince Coletta is probably Gary's favorite inker.
You just didn't understand his complexities.
They were peers.
Hold on a second. I'm looking for the original question. Like you guys, but devil's advocate, does Gary have a Mount Rushmore of inkers? So then we have to, I guess what we're doing is trying to define the term inker.
Well, okay. But I will just give you my 4 for my definition, and then you guys can,
Okay.
So I would go Sinnott. I would go Scott Williams. You probably have to throw Terry Austin up in there.
Yeah, see, Terry Austin, that's 5 for me.
That's 3.
Terry Austin was a huge influence on me.
But that's only 3 on mine. You can do yours in a second.
Oh.
Quit talking over me.
Back off.
Give him a cannonball. Give him a cannonball.
I can't even believe it.
Aaron, I apologize.
No apology necessary.
Yeah,
There's
apology accepted.
Watch out, David, when we try and auction off your thing here in a few.
I know, right?
Dad's Den of Pop Culture says it's getting tense around here.
Hey, this is serious business, man.
That's right. We're talking acres, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that 4th anchor would have to be. See, you're right, because could you even count Klaus Janson, because he did a lot of penciling as
There you
well.
go.
That's true. I counted him. Yeah, he's my only out of my and I counted Mark Schultz as well. He's artist.
See, you guys are cold on yourselves.
But see, you could say your top 4 penciler inkers.
Okay.
See,
Well, see, like
No.
I would have had a runner-up would have been Garner, but he's an amazing artist now. What's his name?
true.
Alex Garner.
Yeah. No, I love this.
I might go modern and go Danny Mickey. So I might go Mickey.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Scott
What
Williams.
What about Dan Panosian?
Panosian's Panosian, I don't think was ever his inking to me during that period of time when he was doing that was very similar to what everybody else was doing over those guys.
Yeah.
He's become just a fantastic artist now, and the way he inks himself, I love.
Yeah, what he's doing now is, I think, is way better than what he did it.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh yeah.
right. As just when he was just acting as an anchor. I would go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mickey. I'm gonna go Scott Williams. I'm gonna go Joe Sinnott, and probably Terry Austin.
Wow. Okay.
Just in terms of, because I'm thinking in terms of impact they had on the industry as well as quality of their work.
No Bob Wycheck. Come on.
No, I like Bob's okay. I was fine with Bob. There was a lot of
That's
guys.
a very, very diverse group there, Aaron.
Milgram was good, but I don't think they had that sort of. You could argue Dick Giordano.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, just because of his, again, his importance in the industry.
Yeah, he inked a lot of important projects, but some of those he gave himself the gigs.
Yeah, but he would. I wouldn't put him on a Rushmore.
No, he influenced me quite a bit, but I would not put him on Mount Rushmore.
Well, there's my 4. I'm going with that's my 4 for today. If you guys just that are solely all they did was ink other people, that would be my.
Okay. Queen Mickey says, I appreciate the mention, but I'm no inker.
Danny, is there something we don't know about? Yeah.
Sister of Danny Mickey, huh? Now I got to find Fairchild's costume. I've got her drawn naked, but I don't have anything on her, so I should just leave it.
I see you're trying to win the crowd today.
Well, it's got to know who your audience is.
Okay,
Right?
Skull Nasher, Alex Raymond. Alex Raymond was a huge influence on me when I started inking Steve Rude.
Who?
Alex Raymond and Steve Rude.
Oh yeah, Raymond. Yeah. He was something else.
Yeah,
there's another inker.
That's what I was trying to do when I was inking Rude is Alex Raymond.
Yeah, but you could say about Hal Foster was a terrific anchor. He was, but those guys were to me more illustrative. They were doing everything. They weren't just doing one aspect. They were doing everything.
Yeah, but again,
different category.
Hal Foster was again a huge influence. Just like the textures alone are just amazing.
Okay, but with the parameters we've established, or at least
Well, the parameters that you have established.
Can you give me 4? Within the established parameters.
Even Terry drew every once in a while. So I mean,
yeah, but not enough that you'd ever, catalog him as a penciler.
Let's see. Dave Stevens.
Okay, Dave.
Bernie
Stevens.
Wrightson. Let's see. Who else?
The Rushmore. Gary was right in the first. The Rushmore is going to always change every time you mention somebody.
Well, yeah, but again, you're talking about guys that were penciler inkers. I'm saying just guys that all they did was ink.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's easier than giving everybody in the category and saying we all qualify.
I would have to. Yeah, I would.
We're all winners.
We're all going to get trophies.
We're all winners. Yeah, I would have to look at my list in that book and cherry pick the ones that are just known for just inking, and that's hard to do.
Well, obviously, we can't play these games on this show because Gary is just as unwilling to cooperate. So.
Yeah. Once again, it's my fault.
It is. Gary ruins everything.
Yeah, Wally, not for Aaron, but for me, Wally would definitely.
Oh, Wally! I forgot about him.
There's another one.
Wrightson and Frazetta. I mean, come on.
Frazetta.
On and on and on.
Frazetta's a hell of a name.
Queen Mickey, you're always right.
What else? Gosh, I mean, almost all of my favorites were artist inkers. They were.
Well, yeah, mine too.
The full package. So,
yeah,
but I mean, out of the pure,
pretty much all the Filipinos, they were all amazing.
Dale Keown, the way he inked himself.
Oh yeah,
so
I loved him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's so good.
Yeah, Alfred Alcala. I mean, Rudy Nebres, Nestor Redondo, Alex Nino.
I think out of the pure inkers, Mark Farmer was and is still my
Farmer was
favorite.
What Farmer's problem was though? He was so exclusive to Alan Davis that it was hard to get him on other people to get like a wider variety of what he would look like over different people. He did include
he inked quite a bit of Adam Hughes.
Yeah, right. And Dale on Hulk. Yeah.
Farmer, did he? Yeah, I guess he did, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was Dale's regular inker on the Hulk.
I was thinking that was that other dude, Joe. Who was the other guy that inked Dale on the Hulk?
I don't know.
In the chat, help me out. He's been around forever. Oh God, old age.
Been around forever.
That includes
no, Aaron. I did not ink the Hulk.
I'm making here. It's hard.
Oh my gosh, who was that? Rubenstein.
Oh,
did Rubenstein ink Keown?
I think he started. Yeah, that's who started.
I don't know how much he did, but I remember him on there. Well, I dug up my actual Gen 13 book for reference. How about that?
Your Gen 13 book, your one Gen 13. What do you have?
2 issues.
Like a trade? 2 issues? You got 2 issues of it?
Well, it was bootleg, so it was.
You're practically a weeb.
What he's one issue away from meeting that definition.
You got 2 issues of Gen 13. Oh my God. No, it's not.
Okay, Pantheon's mentioning Bob Layton and Tom Palmer.
Bob Layton?
Bob Layton, created some things that, like, as an example, he's the first one that made the Iron Man suit look.
Well, no, I like Bob Layton. I don't remember.
Hang on a second. Roll down, big fella. I think Pablo Marcos, when he was inking John Byrne, did that, and so did Perez before Bob Layton did.
Okay, let me revise what I said. Bob Layton is known
There you go.
to be
I'll
the
take
first one to have
I'll take that.
made it shiny.
David's like nerds.
Yeah. Philippines. Yeah, Pablo Marcos is the reason why I always have a fond memory of him, because he's the reason why I got the Blue Devil gig over Paris Collins, because Paris hated what he was doing.
Oh,
And so they had a tryout after Pablo inked the first issue of Blue Devil, and Paris liked what I did, and that's how I got the job.
and
That's cool.
and then Pablo Marcos could no longer feed his family. I hope you're happy, Gary.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Sucks to be him.
He was on contract at DC. You know how that goes. That once you're on contract, then you're on the gravy train.
Yeah, that was those. Is that like, what do you mean, like exclusive? Or
Yeah, and so the contract specifies a certain amount of pages for an inker, a certain amount of pages every month, and so they just, okay, we'll just take him off this book and put him on another book.
Well, okay. I don't feel
I
bad.
had some books ruined that way.
Yeah, it was not a good system for pencilers.
Well, it wasn't. Here's what ticked me off about some of the contract stuff, and this is, I talked about this before. I don't know if it was on this show or another one, but like, I'm a huge David Finch fan, right? I love his stuff, and he's a great guy personally. So this is nothing about any of that. But he was on contract with DC, and they had to find, and his page rate and cover rate was so freaking high. They could only put him on certain books, right, that were selling well enough to justify the page rate.
Right.
And so I got my covers taken away from me on Justice League Justice League International, because it was a surprise hit and it was selling really well, and they didn't expect it.
Thanks for making this sell well, Aaron. We're taking you off it.
Right. And they gave the covers to Finch after I did the first two, because he had to have a cover gig, and they weren't going to take, like, Batman away from Capullo or, anything like that. So they had to find someone they could push around me, and on a book that was selling well, better than it was supposed to be. And but Finch did amazing covers on his run on that, and it was great, but that should have been my gig. And but because he was under contract, I got the short end of the stick.
Do you get royalties off of that book?
I did a little bit when it first.
Do you think the royalties equaled out to what you would have got on if you would have did the covers?
What do you mean? Do you think that the book sold more because David was doing the cover?
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably. Although, but the thing is, before he took over, it was already selling well.
I know,
So
but
I don't know how
you
much.
don't think it was selling better? That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I was so angry, I never checked.
Yeah.
Gen X Catholic says the Justice League story again. Release your pain.
Yeah. It's just a good example of what we're talking about. That's all I'm saying.
JW in the chat is asking, does anyone know what Prentice Rollins, the guy that inked EVS for a bit, is doing? I don't even know who that is. Sorry to say.
What now?
Prentice Rollins? Does anybody know who that is?
Nope.
What is he doing?
Well, he's asking the guy that inked EVS for a bit, what's he doing now?
Gosh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with his name. Anyone?
I would say that that question could be asked about any inker. Like, what's Carl Story doing right now? That's another one of my faves.
Yeah, Carl. Okay, yeah, Carl Story.
I can tell you what Matt Ryan's doing. He's inking Kit Carter. Planet.
Yeah, that's right.
Available now on Indiegogo.
Well played, Aaron.
Yeah, touche.
Oh man. Okay, so Gary, who's your top 4 in Mount Rushmore?
He's like, you thought you were getting away with this, huh?
Rudy Nevries, Frank Frazetta.
And everybody else I said. Yeah.
Brian Ballin and Dave Stevens. That's it.
There you go.
Did Nevries do anything in your book? I can't remember.
Yeah. He inked one of Steve's drawings.
Wow.
Well, what did Rude think of that?
That's the one where he just went nuts on the tree limb. You remember?
Yes, I do. But did Rude go nuts?
I don't remember what Rude said about Rudy's inking, but it wasn't. I do remember it wasn't.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't favorable.
Who did he like out of that group?
Nobody.
The only one that he really liked was the one where he inked it himself. I'm serious. I don't think he liked it because everyone's doing their own thing, and that was my point. I wanted them to do their own thing.
Right.
Well, the interesting thing about that book,
he wanted everyone to do his thing.
the interesting thing about that book, though, was that you hired, or not hired, but got a lot of guys that were finishers to work on that. And so, did you do that on purpose, or was it just because they just happened to be your favorite inkers?
They were my favorite inkers.
Well, and I mean, I quite enjoyed it for that experiment to see what all these different guys would do on a guy like Steve, who's very controlled.
Yeah.
So it was fun kind of seeing, especially like, I think I got that book just so I could see, various people, but Mark Schultz and how he would, use that dry brush technique that he does.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful, but like I was surprised by like everybody, honestly.
Yeah. And that part in the book was the very last chapter. It was the last part of the book. And I remember at the studio, a Studiosaurus, when my shipment of books came finally from the printer, and I brought them to the studio and passed books out to everyone in the studio. Everyone did exactly the same thing. When they got the book, they flipped to the back right away to look at that section of the different inkers working on Steve.
We didn't care what you had to say.
That was the selling point of the book was that part of it.
Well, and like Kelsey said, just to get to see what these guys would do.
Yeah.
Did Kevin Nolan work on that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at it. I got it over there in the old bookshelf. The first printing, which is
Kevin Nolan was the one that Steve disliked the most.
Wow. Well, yeah, because he probably redrew it the most, right?
If you remember the one that Nolan did, it was the layout page. It wasn't the Nexus page. It was the Jill and Sundra page that was a layout.
Right, that's right.
And they're having a picnic.
Yes.
And Nolan inked the background sky in one of the panels black. It was very dramatic. And Steve's comment was, "Who the hell has a picnic at night?"
He's got a point there.
It's a scary picnic.
Yeah, but it's a cool, it's a cool page. There's no denying.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I'm not one that's necessarily thinks that logic needs to be involved in comic book art. I mean, I think your number one priority is to make something look cool, right? And if you take a few liberties here and there, who cares? I don't know why there's sort of was this, I don't know if it still is, but there was a period of time where it's like realism was really being pushed. And I'm just kind of like, come on, man, this is comics.
It's still kind of that way, largely because of the movies.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's all Adam Hughes and Brian Hitch's fault.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's why I gravitate towards this 90s period, because it was definitely I doubt that these guys used reference for anything ever.
Certainly not guns.
Yeah. And there's a charm in that, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how, I mean, I look at that stuff differently. I was like everybody else. I mean, I was jealous, of course, because these guys were making tons of money and I was just trying to break in. But their stuff was, there was a certain coolness about them during that time period that just was like, you know, all the other crap didn't matter. It was just like, these look cool. And that's the struggle is, right? How can I make my stuff look cool like this?
I
I
still
don't
haven't
think
figured
much
it out.
anymore. It seems, like I said, it seems dated to me, and I'm not as impressed with it as I was when I was trying to break in. But for that period of time when that stuff was going on, it was really cool.
Yeah, I realized that it was way too much work.
I can never put this many lines in here. What are these guys doing?
Yeah. Well, even the lines they put in, like, you know, looking at Gen 13, and you see, oh, it's got all the same lines as everybody else, but they're perfectly spaced,
Yeah.
perfectly rendered. Everything is just so tight. It's and to get that, oh, that takes a lot of time.
Go, this comic stuff ain't for me.
No.
Well, there's kind of I remember this story that it was from a quote that one of Wrightson's many interviews that I read. He was like talking about when the kind of this young new wave of artists like, you know, him and Starlin and Milgram and these guys came into this scene, and basically all the older guys getting pissed off because now they had to work harder because these guys were doing all this, you know, and he brought up this specific example where I guess Al Milgram did this cover, he said, that had, I don't know what it was for, maybe House of Mystery, I don't know, and that had this mermaid on the cover, and he went in and articulated every single scale on the mermaid's tail and was bringing it in. It was this really beautiful piece. And this is according to Wrightson, or at least as I remember Wrightson being quoted as saying this. And he said he didn't mention who they were, but there was a couple of older guys there, artists, saw him bring this stuff in, and they were like just basically grumbling each other, saying, "Great, now we all have to work harder." You know,
I read that too. That older professionals were mad at Wrightson because of the extra work that he put into his stuff.
Well, all those young guys, because they didn't have families at the time, you know, and they were all like living together in an apartment, and they, you know, it was just like,
well, and plus they were trying to make a statement. They're trying to,
right,
you know, establish themselves.
Right, exactly. And I wonder if that was maybe the 70s was the first generation of comic artists that came into comics that were actually comic book readers and fans growing up.
That could, yeah, you could be right.
You know, so they had this sort of, it meant something more to them than just a paycheck, you know.
Well, and the Image crew, or all the young guys, they were art fans, right? I mean, surely they're like Jim Lee, like Rob Liefeld was a comic fan. Like he I've heard him talk about various comics growing up. Like he didn't even like Kirby. Like he's like, oh yeah, Kirby is. Yeah. No, thank you. Like he was more of a art fan. Well, he loved Frank Miller.
Like
so
Kirby.
I didn't either as a kid. Kirby and Ditko, I didn't like him at all.
Really?
I
like Kirby. I was mesmerized by Kirby from the very first time I laid eyes on his work. I just
The thing about, you know, Aaron not liking Kirby is why he always comes in third place on this show.
Okay, first of all, it's not a competition.
First of all,
I'm just saying it
counterpoint, David.
It just shows in your art. I'm just saying.
Well, you know what it is, though. You know, you can take all the little shots you want, but it's going to be time to pay the piper here pretty quick.
Speaking of which, Aaron, what's the time situation?
yeah.
Well, let's see. We want to
It'll take you
do,
to finish that piece.
I need probably 10 more minutes.
Okay, because David's got an auction.
I know. So we don't want to go too late, but let's shoot for, let's say, like 4:15, and then we'll auction off David's piece.
David, could you remind us again what you're auctioning?
This. It's Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah.
And that's the cover for
Yeah,
was it
IDW. Yeah, the original inker was Bill Sienkiewicz.
But he inked the blue line.
But he inked the blue line.
Oh, okay.
So that is the actual original pencil right there.
Yeah.
God, I mean, Sienkiewicz inking you.
Isn't that weird?
It's very weird, but and I hated it when I first saw it.
Mhm.
But it's grown on me. Like sometimes this stuff does that, like where he inked Rodolfo DiMaggio, and I'm like, what the hell? You don't get a guy like that to ink Rodolfo, but honestly, it gives it a lot of energy, and it's kind of fun. I like it a lot more now.
Well, here's the thing about the Kirby thing was, I think if you grew up, and Gary's a little bit older than I am, if you grew up, say, reading comics in the 60s, then Kirby was probably the pinnacle of comic book artists at that time. And then maybe Buscema came in a little bit after him. But when I grew up, I was looking at people like Barry Smith and Bernie Wrightson and Jim Starlin and guys that were already going nuts with the detail. And so then and more, I'm not going to say realistic, but more recognizable anatomy choices, let's say. And then you go back and look at Kirby, who was at that point sort of, for me, was past his prime. And
I will smack you in the
that was like in the later 70s. And
No, I see your point. If that's who you have been exposed to, and then you see Kirby.
right, because you're expecting it to look like he's not doing what everybody else was doing, obviously. And so you're like, I don't get this at all. Where's the detail? Where's all the line work? Where's the more accurate anatomy? But then as you get older and you start to appreciate and understand what he was doing and the language that he brought to comics and, the influence he brought to everybody, you start to really appreciate it and actually kind of like it and dig it. And I mean, that's where I'm at now. But when I was a kid, man.
Yeah. Well, my first comics I started reading that I was exposed to was Thor, Captain America, and Fantastic Four, the Kirby books.
Yep. Well, Carl Kiesel gets really sensitive if you take shots at Kirby. And it's I also think the same thing with him. He grew up on Kirby, so it's like, that's his guy. And I didn't grow up on Kirby, so.
Sir Angus Fungus, you'll appreciate this, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure I will.
Black and Gary's corn dog, Aaron. The disrespect is palpable. And Dad's Den of Pop Culture says, but if like Aaron, you grew up reading comics in the 40s.
But it's funny you should mention that, because even when I was collecting comics when I was a kid and I would see pictures of Golden Age books, like in the price guide and stuff, I gravitated towards like Reed Crandall and guys like that were doing more realistic drawings.
More illustrated.
And, really nice, detailed, realistic drawings.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of the stuff that I gravitated to even as a young kid. So
Marcus Killigrew has been on a theme lately, but Kirby had the courage to create romance comics, unlike you guys.
Okay, whoever does the picks next, Gary, you do the picks next week. One of your choices has to be romance comics. And we'll see if it gets voted in.
I already know what I'm going to.
Okay.
I know what I'm going to do.
You see, this is so typical of guys like Marcus and his ilk.
Guys, hold on a second. Guys like Marcus.
And his ilk. Well, that's the thing. No. They're like, oh, why don't you guys do this? Why don't you guys do that? We put it up in the poll and nobody votes for it. So what are we supposed to do?
Okay, well, you make a good point. Malibu's been on the poll 3 times.
Yes. How many times have people said you should do Malibu characters? And
And so Malibu is out.
That's right. 3 strikes and you're out on the Graybeard's. That's how it rolls. So Kelsey, this is your last show.
I'm gonna put Malibu. What is it? Atari Force and they're all gonna be going head to head at some point.
Man,
we're gonna get one of them.
What was that? What was that war comic? The Losers that somebody used to do.
yeah,
That's
Kirby
what we're
did
gonna have.
the Losers. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have the Losers.
What? That was in War Comics. Nobody did that for War Comics?
No,
I thought somebody did that.
I don't think David did anything because he.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it was just the
Internet
Unknown Soldier,
malfunction.
and I did Combat Kelly because of his Chinese red hair.
Mickey once again clarifies the issue. Aaron didn't like Kirby because Kirby didn't like Gene Roddenberry.
I knew there was a reason why I didn't like that guy. I met Kirby once at his birthday party. The Image guys threw for him at San Diego. He was very nice.
Did you ask him about Star Trek?
I did, and he was like, "I hate that son of a bitch, Kirk." And I went, "What?"
Yeah, there's an interesting story in there that you didn't get.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? At this could have been at his birthday party that you're talking about, but they had like these blow up photos of his covers around at his birthday party. Did you see any of those?
I think so. They were like on a. Was that like behind him on the like where they had the cake sitting, and then there was like a.
Well, I got one of them right over my.
Oh, really?
Hold on.
Did you grab it and like run out of there at high
Yeah.
speed
You
wearing
see
your
it?
Spider-Man costume?
Is that how you got it, David? You
It's right over my computer,
the Iron Man?
and he
wow.
signed it and everything.
Cool.
Oh, so you had him sign it and then you ran away.
Yeah.
I bought it from an art dealer who got it. And then
Oh.
I got it from him.
With it? That's cool, man. See a nice little Kirby signature on there.
Yeah.
David, could you go back up on the wall and zoom in on that family photo? That's what I want to see. Yeah.
And
Is that your parents?
No, it's my mom's family.
Oh, okay.
So
Your dad.
It looked old. So I like.
that's
Who's
my
in there?
mom, and that's her dad, and that's my grandmother, and that's all the brothers and sisters.
All 108 of them.
Yeah, right.
Now your dad started in the Mod Squad, didn't he?
Uh-huh.
What?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was
Oh,
the
with David,
inspiration-
it wouldn't surprise me.
I know.
He was the inspiration for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Here.
Major Corn Dog says, David, where's your aunt in that photo? You talking about Uhura?
Yeah, there's my dad right there. And my grandmother and my grandfather. And there's my dad and little me.
Little David.
You got to get one of those shots of your dad in his sunglasses. He looks just. What's that guy? What was that actor's name?
I don't know who you're.
Oh.
From the Mod Squad, Clarence Williams III, I think.
Yeah.
He looks just like him, man. It just cracks me up when he put those sunglasses on.
Look at what my grandson did.
How old is he?
7.
Wow. Good use of color.
Yeah.
He got the Spider-Man costume right. I
Yeah.
can't draw a Spider-Man costume.
He's still like checking reference every time you have to draw Spider-Man. You're like, man, how does that webbing go again?
I've never gotten it right. I don't think
Gary
ever.
Rasco says, I heard Kirby's one career regret was not drawing an issue of Atari Force.
If I wasn't on the last stages of inking, Jerry, I'd blow you up, but I can't afford the time right now.
That's one you owe him.
That's right. And an elephant never forgets.
We're in the crunch zone now, I could tell.
Yep.
Yep.
Gets a little quieter when
Yeah. I just noticed that remembering the studio days, it was all fun and games before lunch.
right.
But after lunch, you know,
That
people got
FedEx
serious.
deadline was looming.
It was very quiet.
Everybody's napping. That's why.
Well, there was that. But when you start looking at that clock on the wall and realize, wait a minute, I got 3 hours till FedEx picks up.
I just blew off the whole day with hacky sack and lunch. I got work to do.
That sounds like your Gaijin days. Huh?
It was. We played a lot of hacky sack. It was good times.
I think studios are only good in theory because you don't really get any work done.
It's very
Well,
distracting. Yeah.
That's why I didn't go down there and work that often, is because I couldn't get anything done. I was there maybe once a week.
Carl.
I went down twice a week, and those are the 2 days I didn't work much.
Carl would just he would put on audiobooks, and then you'd see him hunched over his desk, and it was, and I think I bothered him like once or twice, and it always felt like I've done wrong, like the way he would slowly turn and look at me. I'm like, I'm never bothering you again. Sorry.
Slowly.
But other than that, he was like one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It's just don't bother him when he's in the middle of his audiobook inking Tom Strong.
Speaking of Carl, he inked one of Steve's Nexus pages in the inking book.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so crisp and clean. And I asked him about what he thought of Carl's inks on that piece, and he hated it because he thought it was too clean. It's like, what do you mean too clean?
Carl's inks?
Yeah, he didn't like Carl's inks because he thought it was too perfect.
Wow.
Well, remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, but maybe you were. This might have been during a convention. I was talking to Plug, and Mark Farmer had inked him on that Sludge Annual that Plug did.
Oh yeah.
And he said he didn't really like it because it was so slick. And I was like, that's why I liked it.
Right.
It was like, it was such a different look. I mean, it still looked like Plug, but it was like really slick Plug,
Yeah, I agree. That's why I liked it too.
And I said, yeah, you never look better. I know. Except when you ink yourself. And well, he said John Verporten was his favorite inker. And I was like, that wasn't that great. And I was like, I couldn't have said that. And then Plug never talked to me again.
Punkface XO has an interesting question. How to find out if you are actually talented as an artist? I recently started drawing, but I can't tell my level since it looks better than some professionals, but worse than some others.
Show it to Gary DeCon. He won't lie to you.
I was going to say, show it to Matt Haley.
Oh, really?
Was he bad?
Pretty brutally honest with
he doesn't do shows, but yeah, you have to show it to someone who doesn't pull any punches.
Wow, he's always been very kind to me about my stuff. So it must be.
Yeah, that's because you're good.
Or he just likes me as a human being, and he hates to ruin my feelings.
Gary used to brutalize people, man. He used to crack me up.
Wait a minute.
I could not believe it. I was like, geez, Gary.
We've told this story a few times, and every time it comes up, I sound more and more vicious.
You're a tyrant.
No, Gary told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he told me that he said, look, we have an obligation to be truthful to these people because if
I never said that.
You did.
It's like, Gary, you made that 10-year-old cry.
He had it coming.
Rather than being a 20-year-old and making him cry,
The instance that you're referring to,
there's a
like
couple.
special circumstances.
No, that wasn't the one. I'm not talking about the one in Portland. You see, every time I sat near you, I could hear you critiquing portfolios, and you were you were brutally honest.
You could hear the crying from Gary's table.
I could never, he'd be saying stuff like, don't quit your day job, and pumping gas is not that bad.
The world needs ditch diggers.
While munching on a corn dog. Yeah, ruining lives.
Mustard dripping on the kid's original artwork. And,
Yeah, right.
He uses their art to wipe his mouth.
yeah, exactly. That's my original art. Gary's like, you really don't need this. You don't want to show this to anybody anymore anyway.
Yeah, let me see that page. Wipe.
Yeah. I'm doing you a favor, kid.
That's right. You think, well, I'm not charging you for the. No, wouldn't you admit that you were always honest though with people?
No.
Oh my gosh!
No, my policy is always to say at least one good thing, even if I have to lie.
Yeah.
You're all, hey, your shoes are tied.
Yeah, it looks like you brushed your teeth before you came to the show.
I don't think this what you're saying right now is true.
No, it is.
Okay. All right.
If someone has potential, and what I mean by potential is they're young enough,
They can get better.
right. They have time to grow as an artist. They're dedicated. They're teachable. Like if they've had a critique before and you're looking at their work again and you see improvements that they've actually followed, some instruction, those kinds of things. If someone, and there's this one guy in particular, and you'll probably remember him, he would come to San Diego every year. He wanted to be a colorist, and he would show his same samples every year.
Yeah, no. I do remember that guy.
And some people would spend, like an hour meticulously going over his work and, telling him all this great stuff. And he would nod, yes, oh, this is great. Yes, I can't wait to get home. Next year, he'd bring the same samples. No improvement. But so this guy clearly wasn't teachable.
Thank you.
But the main factor was that this guy was like 50.
That's right. Yeah.
So at that point, when you realize that he's not improving, and this is over years, he's not improving. So to give this guy hope that he's ever going to make it in comics is actually, not doing him a favor.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends.
That's the point where I say, okay, look.
Look, if you want to indulge
something
yourself
else, because you're not learning, the ship has kind of sailed for you. To try to give him hope, I think would really do him more harm than good.
Well, it depends on what he wants to do. Like if he wants to,
he wanted to be a professional. He wanted to be a professional colorist.
Wow. Well, he's going to have to do a lot more than the same pages. That's for sure.
Yeah, over a period of years.
Most colorists I know are doing like 7 pages a day or more. So
exactly.
Every day.
This guy, he didn't. Yeah, good point. He didn't have the work ethic. He wasn't committed to it. But every year, I really want to be a color artist. Here are my samples. Can I get? He would take notes, and then we'd see him again. Okay, let's see if he's improved at all. Here he comes. It got to the point where he'd head over to our tables, and artists would get up and leave because they didn't want to critique his work.
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah.
So in a situation like that, no one wanted to, be the bad guy. That's where I said, okay,
I'm gonna be the bad guy and I'm gonna revel in it. Now, Gary, the most brutal thing I heard Gary say to this kid, the guy came up, and he asked him how old he was, and he was like, I don't know, it was 19 or 20. And
is that the guy with the parents that were hanging out?
No. This is a different guy. And Gary
oh
said,
my goodness.
Gary looked at his pages and he said, you ever heard of a pencil? And the guy said, of course. And Gary said, try using one. And then booted him. It was brutal.
I never said that.
Well, that might be a slight paraphrase.
You know what a pencil is, you idiot.
Try
You
using
never
one.
said that.
Okay. Well,
But I mean,
maybe
even like kids who come up and they don't know what they're doing. They're drawing on, like binder paper, and they're using crayons. I'd still, try to say something positive. But someone who is, that ship has sailed for them, by telling them, hang in there, keep at it. I mean, that's
if they're still using the poster board you get at the grocery store, then yeah.
That's what you use.
Yeah, no, I'm one step above that. But yeah, all of my old stuff, I'd have drag out my old stuff someday. It's hilarious, but it's all on that poster board stuff.
Yeah.
Where as soon as you put down your pen, it just bleeds, and you're like, oh.
I was desperate like that. I think I actually did some DC pages on there, and they accepted them.
Yeah.
I was just like, they didn't send me enough paper, and I was just like, I need some paper. I got to turn this page in. And then I went to Walgreens, and they had some.
I did all of an X-Men Unlimited on 8.5 by 11 typing paper.
Wow.
really.
Yeah, it was. And what's funny is like I hated it. It's like one of the black sheep. I got a lot of black sheep in my repertoire.
Was it a deadline issue for you?
Oh yeah. Well, my brother had moved into my house where I was living, and he was bringing in like having parties and like brought in a pool table. It was just so distracting. And then
all the hoes were just
I was
all
getting
my time.
Well, I mean, I was on a deadline, and it was getting worse and worse, and so finally, I just moved to San Antonio and got all the guys in Antarctic to like help me color it and stuff.
Wow,
because that was kind of like a regular thing we did. Anytime somebody,
oh, you were coloring it too?
Yeah, I was doing like everything, but it was one of those things that I just hated. I just wanted to like never see it again. I got it done. And then people started coming up to me at conventions and were like, oh, that's great. I love that one. Yeah. I'm in a book with like, with David Finch and like, oh, here it is. Let me see if I can pull it out.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. It's production art.
Glitch says, quote, ever heard of a pencil? Or yes, try jamming it into your eyes. I'm playing that.
Gary was the Terminator, man. It's like,
I can't find it.
Okay, Aaron. TikTok.
Yeah, we're a minute over.
A whole minute?
Yeah. Well, I want to get your auction in,
Oh, yeah.
So we'll wait till Kelsey returns from his adventure.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah. All right. It's in this book, the new X-Men Companion, and it's got a David Finch cover, and I even had like a Joshua Middleton cover on
screen
mine.
on Kelsey.
I love his stuff.
Go full screen on Kelsey.
Yeah. Just a second here.
It's got a painted story by Chiodo.
Oh,
Chido.
Yeah, Chido. And then let's see, where's mine? It's got
Okay,
Josh
enough with the
Middleton.
good stuff. Show us your stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm building up to the.
Is that a Finch story right there?
It's got Jason Pearson. Yeah, it's got a Finch story.
Pearson thing.
Yeah, look at this Pearson, man. It's like crazy looking. This is when he's doing weird faces and weird characters and stuff, but still like amazing.
Yeah.
Compared to what, and then let's see. Yeah, it's got all kind. I don't know who these guys are, but where am I? Okay, not all of it's great, so that's good. It's got a Daniel Giselle in here. I mean, that guy's like an artist kind of guy.
Look at that high contrast stuff, man. That's cool.
Beasley, Simon Beasley's in here.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I mean, where am I? I'm in the back. They put me in the very back, I think. Even though, yeah, okay. Here's the Josh Middleton cover. It's written by Bill Willingham, also, by the way. So the only time I ever got to draw a Bill Willingham story. But yeah, so I spent all my time on this page, on her and this background, and then I had like, a week to finish the rest. So.
Yeah. Is this a precursor to Kit Carter? Is that you just letting me?
It's how I learned my ways. Yeah.
Did you say you colored that too?
Yeah. Well, actually, I had several people coloring it. It was like a team effort trying to get it all done. But I took the credit. I took the blame, rather. But like, I mean, you could see like each of these elements. Look at this guy. Talk about Muppet face.
I love it.
Real quickly, Katie sends $2 with no message, but thank you, Katie. We appreciate it. Just to know you're out there watching. Katie of course, has her own YouTube channel. You should check it out.
Look at it.
Right, yeah. Awesome.
But the one thing I do like about this is how I had Nightcrawler bouncing around the page. So that was fun. But oh my gosh, it was awful.
Now, what was? Oh,
Like
that looks reasonably amateurish. I mean, no, it looks good. It does. I love that sort of like little stylized, cartoony kind of approach you got going there. A lot of Muppet faces and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I did this probably in 2 weeks, probably total. But that's doing it all on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, all in pieces, and I put it all together. Like, look at this. This is actually cool. Like, he bamfed out of this hole, like flying back, like he's reclined. And then this guy's about to hit him, and then he bamfs right when he hits.
That's awesome.
Like behind
No,
him.
it's really stylized, and I like it.
And then you get a blow dart. Poof.
What year? Kelsey, what year was this?
Gosh, I don't know. Let me see. Probably in the 2000s sometime. It says it started in 2004, I guess. Ish. It says it started in 93, but I don't
20
know
years ago.
So that's called the new X-Men Companion. It's like a trade paperback.
Yeah, big trade paperback, but it does have like a really great Trevor Von Eden's in here.
Really, here's heard his name.
Yeah, it's been a while. Here's Finch's story. It's pretty
There's
good.
a name I haven't heard in a long
Exactly.
When I saw this, I was like, this is the first Finch I'd seen in a while, and he had like backgrounds and like cars and stuff. I hadn't seen his stuff since look at his Sabretooth. It was really cool looking.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, he's actually got storytelling in his stuff now.
He's got such power and depth in his drawings by how he spots his blacks and stuff. I just love his stuff.
Yeah, this is pretty old at this point for him. This is long before Batman and long before he was really exploding. But yeah, that's my claim to fame at Marvel. That was the probably the last time I ever worked at Marvel was that show.
Well, we're gonna have to call this because we have to auction David. So since you're up, Kelsey, let's take a look and see what you've done here so far.
Oh gosh! All right,
well, that you got all that in there.
didn't you?
Very ambitious.
Yeah.
See if I can zoom out so I can zoom in. So yeah, I got Spartan here in the background. Let me see if maybe I can.
Dude, you finish this, man. You'll get some bucks for this.
Yeah,
one.
you'll sell this.
Wait, okay, maybe I can make it a little darker here. So yeah, I got come on now. Got Maul back here. Got Voodoo, or no, it's what's her name? Void. Yeah. There's Voodoo. I was having her Damonite hand come out. I think that's what you call them, Damonite.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah. Grifter, center, shooting guns.
Oh yeah.
Warblade looking boring. I didn't like it.
Marcus Killigrew says Kelsey has potential.
I was trying to do that old school render, or it's old school now, but that 90s rendering that they would do. I just never ever was able to get a hold of that.
I couldn't either. I just did not get it. It was not in my repertoire.
No, I was a Bruce Timm, kid. So also Brian Stelfreeze, all the graphic guys I was, really into. So I never that made more sense to me than all the rendering. But I still, there's a part of me that would love to get that right. I was trying some of those little noodly scratches like McFarlane does.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty fun.
Well,
that
there's
one part right there looks okay.
Yeah,
like
there's that sort of no rhyme or reason to what they do, and they're just out there kind of messing around, having fun. And I guess it's kind of liberating to kind of go that direction and say, you know what, this doesn't necessarily have to reflect a light source. It doesn't necessarily have to do this or that. You're just doing it to energize the drawing, to give it some more line work for fun and profit. And speaking of profit,
so I'll finish it up. And I was thinking about coloring it with markers and stuff like old style.
Yeah, show it next week, man. I'd love to see it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah, all right. I'll finish
all right, I will. I'll jump on. David, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Ooh, talk about graphics. See, this is why I was gravitated to David's stuff early on. Look at that.
What's this guy's name again?
Spartan.
Look at that hair. You spend all your time on that hair. I know,
right?
That's way better than my Spartan. Damn.
All those pouches on that belt are going to take you forever. Dude, I'd definitely finish that. That's a winner.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, third place winner is what I meant.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the heavy use of black.
Yeah, the lighting effect. So is there going to be like some sort of energy blast coming off his hand or running his hand? Yeah. That'd be really, really cool. What size is that? 11 by 17?
Oh, it is.
Major Corn Dog says 150 confirmed, David.
That'll be more than that when he gets it done.
No, see, no, he doesn't. 150 as is.
Oh, then you could just stop.
Right you don't have to do any more work. Oh my goodness.
Very cool.
All righty. Let's see. What did I do? I did this.
Oh, nice. Pretty good.
Got the boots in there. The thunder thighs.
Yeah. Easily holding up.
What's that thingy she's got over her head?
Oh, she's cute.
A big old rock thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is cute.
Yeah. Good deal. Except her belly button's like in her crotch. What the?
I know, right?
Oh, I didn't see that. You're right. It needs to go up like a lot.
Oh, get off me, man. I might color
the drawing's ruined now.
I might color this. I kind of like it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Crack them brand new acrylics open.
Yeah.
Now let's see the one on the back again.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
You got to make a flip book. Do
Yeah.
Good old flip book. Good old days. All right, so there we go. There's Fairchild from. I wanted to put that big mall guy back here, but I just never got around to it. Maybe I should draw a mall back there. That might
That'd be more fitting, honestly.
Actually, it would be, right? He's tearing up the parking lot in the mall. Okay.
Well, we all did pretty okay.
Yeah, Aaron draws the honeys, said Henry Bemis. Okay, gang, there you go. What a tremendous effort today. Wildstorm. Huge audience right now. You guys, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel grow. Now, let's see if we can make David a few bucks. Pretty simple rules on this auction. You'll type in a dollar amount and say confirmed, and that will mean that you're really bidding. Please no trolling. And then once we get to a certain point here, 5-6 minutes, I'll do a countdown from 1 to 10. If someone bids during the countdown, we'll restart the countdown at 5 and continue to go. Remember, there's a slight delay on your end, so don't wait till the last second to bid, because then your bid won't go through. So there you go. Let's make David big here. So this is a pencil, the original pencil for the cover of a Judge Dredd comic. Which, do you remember what number it was? Or what
I
comic?
do not. I do
For
not. But you
IDW,
can look,
right?
yeah, you can look it up real quick.
I could, but I'm not going to. So
Okay.
IDW. And the great thing about this is it's David. This is the original pencils. You could get somebody else to ink it if you wanted to, like Art Taber or Gary Martin
Gary.
or a lot of people would do this. There's Major Corn Dog, $250 confirmed.
Nice.
Hey, that's an opening salvo.
There you go. That
Yeah.
Major Corn Dog. He's
making a
for real.
statement here.
Yep, absolutely.
The proportions, man. Your proportions are always
Yeah.
friggin' perfect.
Oh, thanks.
I like that his knees are high enough that his feet are out of the way of the gun.
He's blowing his foot off.
He's a professional. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's
He did
practiced
this
that
before.
move in front
Yes,
of me.
So yeah, this is
So
a great
cool.
piece. I mean, it's so tight you could just keep it as a pencil, or if you
Yeah.
wanted to get someone to ink it, you could do that. If you do get someone to ink it, don't get a hack. Get somebody good.
Yeah. What I would suggest is keep it as the pencils and get the comic and frame both of them together.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I wonder if Sienkiewicz, does he have his somewhere? Does somebody buy
He
that
does.
one?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
See if you can go get that one for $1,200 or whatever he's
Yeah,
selling.
exactly. $12,000.
Yeah, 12,000.
Well, he didn't color it; he just inked it, right? So maybe you get a break on it. This is 11 by 17, by the way, so it's a good sized piece of artwork.
Is there anything on the back?
Like an unfinished piece like Aaron's? No.
Because I remember you used to draw on the back in reverse.
Yeah, I used to, but it's only on Marvel paper, so that's that's the only thing that's.
Heat Miser says covers from Judge Dredd 2012 number 7B 1 in 10 variant.
Yeah.
Now, Major Corn Dog says, I was going to ask Gary to ink it, but I guess Aaron is right, meaning you shouldn't get a hack to get a good one. I think that's what he's insinuating. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what he's insinuating or not, but I'm just.
You were adding to what he was saying.
No, I'm just, trying to read between the lines a little bit.
Thank you, Aaron.
Major Corn Dog says, he's just kidding, Gary. He thinks you're pretty good.
Wait, something was added there too.
I feel much better.
Oh man,
Yeah, this is cool. I'd love to see what like a guy like Klaus Janson would do with this, because he had those
that'd be interesting.
Those
No,
super
I don't.
fat.
I think Klaus would wreck it.
God,
It's
damn.
going to be interesting to
No,
see
I'm
it.
serious. Old Klaus, yeah. What Klaus
Yeah,
is doing
old-
now? No.
No,
Old
of
Klaus.
course.
I don't even know what he's doing now.
Yeah, I mean, like he
So
uses a number 10 brush to ink with nowadays.
good. Oh. Well, that's what I used to like, is that he would have those big bold outlines, and then he would go inside and render all this fine,
Right. In
cross
his
hatchings.
in his
Get
glory
John
days. He
Beatty.
doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Get John Beatty to ink.
Oh, John Beatty.
Oh, Beatty, yeah.
Beatty
Yeah,
would
Beatty
be
would be
good.
great.
It would be awesome.
If he
One
ever-
question, David, is it like raining X's?
Yes.
It
Yes.
has the measles.
Yeah.
I'm so envious of other pencilers that could just do shading without making it a smudgy mess. So I can't do it. So I just got to put X's everywhere.
Oh, dude, man, I make it a smudgy mess and give it to the inker. Then it's their problem.
Just pass it along.
I can't do it. I can't.
Whatever.
Aaron
Clean this
literally
up, man.
washes his hands after.
Well, hey, why wash your hands when they're just going to get dirty again? All right, guys, we got a 250 bid here confirmed by Major Corn Dog. Anybody else want to get in on this before I start the countdown?
Oh, start counting down now.
This is the cover that made them want to make the movie with Carl.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
you know what? This
Oh.
was in the making of movie. They showed
yeah?
this cover.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
How cool is
and the
that?
box scenes on the DVD.
Wow.
This is what inspired England
Blu-ray.
to make the character. His first appearance of Judge Dredd.
J. Ulysses says, is this Williams? It is. It's David Williams' original pencils for the cover. This was a published piece, inked originally by Sienkiewicz on a blue line, but this is the original pencils right there. This is nice crotch shot. That should be up the value a little bit, depending on who's buying it, I guess.
Shooting his piss stole.
All righty, we'll start counting down here. Get a sense of urgency.
That shoulder
Yeah.
pad's worth $250 alone. That shoulder pad ain't easy to draw.
Yeah. And David's gonna. You remember whoever ends up winning this here. That put how much do we want to put in there for shipping, David?
Like 15 or 20.
There you go.
$1,000.
Yeah.
11 by 17. Put in 20 because for priority that it's going to be probably $15 to ship it, and then you've got all your packing material too. So $20 shipping, please.
Yeah.
Aaron, before you start the countdown, could you pull up my screen? I've got my inks on this piece.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Going
Where-
closer.
You're not selling this at tandem with when did you ink this?
Right after David did it?
What, and they didn't like it?
No, it wasn't for them.
Oh, okay.
Going
I don't
closer.
remember.
Yeah.
I think David just showed it to me, and I said, "Can I ink that?"
Yeah.
Can you zoom in, Gary?
I've done
at
that
all?
several times.
What was that, Aaron?
Can you
Zoom
zoom
in.
in on that at all?
Did I use what?
Can
Zoom
you zoom
in.
in?
Zoom in. Can you zoom in on the picture to make it bigger?
Oh, zoom in, as in 2 words. I thought it was like, what language is he speaking?
Zoom in.
Zoom in.
Wow, cool.
It's all of David's cool feathering. It's like, oh, I'm going to try to bowl in this.
So I smell an opportunity. You get Gary to ink it, and Gary, you can keep his pencils and just send him this.
No, someone bought this original a long
Oh.
time ago.
Yeah, it's sharp.
Okay, anyway, so the countdown continues. We're 10, 9, 8.
I'd take a crack at this and go sloppy with it. Nice, ruin it.
Yeah, well, then do it on a blue line, save them, and then but tell them you didn't,
I'd set it on fire
burn some holes in it.
right where the gun blast is going. Yeah.
Throw some
Six.
alcohol.
Now this
on it.
is someone pointed out that this was going for 500 on Comic Art Fans, so
What?
you're getting it a deal. Someone said in here that it's listed on Comic Art Fans for 500.
Yeah, it was.
So there you go.
getting a
And
real
here it is
deal.
for 250. Look at that, just for you guys. So get in there. Let's get 275 anyway out of this. 300 is not unreasonable. This is a published Judge Dredd cover. 5.
Yeah, this is a steal for a published cover.
Glitch wants to know if Miller did to someone's original pencils, like lit them on fire. Let's see. 4. Three. Birdman versus I'm broke for the next 2 weeks. Timing's everything, isn't it?
Hear that?
Yeah, he
Ooh.
bought the piece. Was it last week from me?
Oh yeah, Gary, it's your fault.
Gary took all of his money. It's Gary's way. He took all of his money, then he told him, "You're never going to make it in this industry. Now get out." Of 0, and I'm going to type in sold last chance. There it is, sold for $250 to Major Corn Dog.
Sold American.
Good
David,
job. Good job, Major.
we want your payment info. So it's Venmo, right?
Yeah, Venmo at SCW-1.
SCW-1. Add the 20, so 270. And there it is, the Venmo. I just put it in the chat.
And make sure you don't forget to include the your address.
Yes, very
right.
important.
Yeah, very cool.
Thank you.
There you go, Major Corn Dog. Thank you so much.
Major Corn Dog. Sounds familiar.
All right, are we done, David? Or are you throwing
Yes.
this?
No, we're done.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for joining us on another exciting episode of Graybeard'S Studio. We couldn't do it if you guys weren't here to help us. We appreciate you guys in the chat, all the super chats, the insightful and humorous commentary, all that good stuff. Please hit the like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Let's grow this show to take over the webs. And you guys have a great rest of your week and a safe weekend. And we will see you right here at this same time next week on Graybeard'S Studio. Good night, everybody.